So for this video, what we're going to do is we are going to replace the ribbon cable. And on this one, it's going to be the ribbon cable for the servo motors. You have two ribbon cables. One is for the camera side, and one is for the servo motor side. So here's our new cable. And we're going to take this one off. We're going to leave this one alone. This one's the easiest one, so we're going to do the hardest one. Plus, this one is actually damaged, so we need to get to that and take it all off and put it on. Now, it plugs in up top, and it plugs in behind this plate, and it plugs in behind this side here. So what we're going to do is take this cover off, and you always take it off from the top. Don't pry down here, just pry at the top and it unsnaps. Comes right off and then plugs in back here underneath this one. So if we just simply peel this one back a little bit, there it is. Try to bring it in closer so you can see. There's where it plugs in there. There's where it plugs in up top, right there. And then if we remove this side, which sometimes I can just get it off with my fingernail, sometimes I have to use my tool, which we're gonna have to do. But you just get your, you want to be careful too and just hold it nice. But you want to get something underneath here to pry this off. It just sticks on very simply like that. I say very simply, but I don't have fingernails. Hold on, let me get a hold of it here. Okay, got my finger under it. You just peel it back. There it is. So we're gonna lay that down. Then you have this piece here. What you want to do with that is it just slides out. So you grab it here and slowly just slide it out like that. And there's your other plug right there. So we can go ahead and unplug that. We don't have to be real careful because we're replacing it. It's all glued or stuck down with glue. This one came right off because the plug end is broken on it. But we're just gonna pull everything out, all the glue, pull it apart. Now we're at the last part. It's glued there too. And unsnap that. So there's the cable, it's off. Okay. There's the new one. So now, it's not gonna be that quick because you wanna be careful with your new one. You don't wanna damage it in the process, but it's got a bunch of places where it's got sticky adhesive. So you wanna peel off the cover for each of those. Just peel them all off. They have little tabs. And that's all of them. Nope, one more. Much easier just to take them off now instead of doing one at a time as you install it. So it's much better to do it now. So let's go ahead and start with this one. Now they're all labeled, and this one here would be your pitch. So we're going to stick it over there. And at first it's a little hard because you're holding all this in your hand and it's sticky, but the best thing to do is just let this stick to your finger. Set this down on the workbench. Make sure you can see here. Yeah. And what I use is a flathead screwdriver with a rubber tip on it, and I don't know where my rubber tip is, but you can still do it like this. So just line it up and then wait for you to hear it snap. Okay, snaps right in place. It's a little sticky here, so it'll stick to this cover. But then what you want to do is you want to roll it. So it needs to roll this way. Just bring it to the end. And then the best thing to do is probably just hold it with your finger and stick the rest in place. Run your finger around it. So all I did is I brought it to the end right here, stuck it in place, brought it around. Now it's got this loop, so we can put this cover piece back on. And when you put this cover piece back on, you do not want to pinch it right here, because that's what it's going to want to do. You slide it on there and make sure you're not pinching it with that bottom. Okay, that's back in place. Now you see it has that roll action. So that side's on, then we just have to put that side cover on. I'll put that back on in a minute. We'll go ahead and make sure the rest all lines up. So now we're going to go to this back center one. Hold this out of the way and just simply fold it around. So it's just going to come around, hold it there, and then take your screwdriver or whatever tool you use. Make sure you're only pressing on the metal part. Do not press on any of the ribbon cable. That's how they break. Like I said before, you'll hear it. You'll feel it and you'll hear it snap into place. There it is. Okay. So now that we have that, we're just gonna lay it down, let it stick, and then bring this one back over top of it. Let it stick. And we're not gonna put the cover back on yet. We're gonna continue to go around and stick it on this side. So we're just bringing it around, sticking it on the back here. Nice and easy. And then here you create that roll again. I hope I'm keeping this all in the camera for you. Create this roll just like that and slide it up underneath there. And just hold it like this, and then this is where tweezers come in handy because you want it to stick. You want to come underneath it like that and just squeeze. And now it's stuck. So we have that roll action there now, just like the other side. So now we just got to get over to here, and we're going to turn. You just follow the sticky side wherever it needs to stick. So basically this is how it's going to be. You're going to pull it this way. Let me show you again. You're just going to fold this a little bit, pull it this way, and bring it around. This is probably the most difficult one to show you because you have to keep turning it. So now we're going to get it around, and then we flip it over here, and then we're going to fold it. But we want to try to get it plugged in first, because that's where all the alignment is. So I'm going to hold it in place with my hand, and then we're going to snap it in where it belongs. Very hard to do and show you. Try and do this so you can see what I'm doing. I need to create a little fold right here, just like that. And press it down. And there we go. Snaps right into place. Now, where we folded it, make that stick right there. And then just take this, push it around to where you get your curl, and push it down. And make it stick in place. And there we are. So everything is now back in order. And then when you put it back in the quad, it's going to be like that. So now that we have it all lined up, everything went nice and smooth, we can put this back plate back on. So line that up, and that back plate has a raised area that goes against that plug, and that's what keeps that in place. Now, the other thing to show you is, one thing I noticed, some of these come with a piece of rubber in them and some of them do not. This one does not have the rubber in it. Let me see if I have another one here. Yeah, I have two of them and neither one of them have that rubber in them. What you can do for the plugs is the same thing I did on when I took my quad apart. Use liquid tape, put some on a brush, and then put it where the plug is. So you just want to put liquid tape all inside there, let it dry, let it set, let it dry, then take your backing and snap it in place, just like that. Same thing here, take a little of your liquid tape, put it around the sides, let it dry, and then this one here, don't worry about it, you don't need it. That one holds really well with that plate there. So now we take our side plate, and this one I actually have another one. Take our side plate, line it back up, stick it on. Now, you just put it back into your Zino, plug it back in, just the way I did in my video that shows you how to take it all apart and put it back together. And as long as this is the original camera that you took out and you only replace this, it'll plug back in and it's plug and play. You should have no problems whatsoever. If you do have any gimbal error codes, I'm gonna have a video on some of those error codes as well to tell you how to get past those. So there's a couple gimbal error codes that you can get, and one of them just shows you how to do a calibration the proper way to get rid of that error, and the other one is installing a piece of patch firmware for the gimbal. So if you've got like a shaky gimbal or something like that, so those will be in another video, but generally just replacing this cable, plugging it back in, they work just fine. So that is how you replace the cable for your Hubsan Zino. And if you haven't watched it, there is a video showing you how to take the Zino apart, how to take the camera out, and how to put it all back together again. And I'll attach that video to the end of this one, so you can just click on that if you need to and refer to it. So thank you very much for watching, subscribing, hit that like button on your way out. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you, and as always, thank you for the great comments. And come again. One of our next videos is going to be installing a brand new camera using the new software tool and the calibration cover tool that goes on this while we're installing it. So that'll be one of my upcoming videos, so look forward to that one to come. And that's about it, folks, and take care.